Well, hi, kids. The agency said they're sending over someone new today. I think he's coming now. Hello, sir. What might your name be? Thomas Cranberry. Wow, that's a very historic sounding name. I should think so. My ancestors were there to greet the pilgrims when they first arrived on the Mayflower. A very historic family, then. Is it true your ancestors came over on the Mayflower? Yes, that's true. And then they were sent home a week later on the Mayflower? We don't like to talk about that part of our family history. Little Horace said you were so old, gobble gobble. You actually came over on the Mayflower yourself. But Cassandra Cashmere said that wasn't true. Well, at least someone's looking out for me over that agency. She said you were already here because Christopher Columbus dropped you off earlier. Gobble gobble. No respect. I don't get no respect. Did you know Benjamin Franklin wanted to make the turkey the national bird of the United States? But they went with the American eagle instead. They went with the bald guy. I guess you're okay with that. I didn't have much say in it, actually. Besides, are you really in a position to criticize other people for being bald? You know what they say, people in glass houses should buy a lot of curtains? No, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You shouldn't criticize others when you're open to the same criticism yourself. Like someone living in a glass house, they shouldn't throw stones at others because they might throw stones back and shatter your house. What do you think, Thomas? Thomas? Oh, sorry, Pastor. Just writing down a memo. Cancel glass house, get plexiglass house. I'm not sure that's quite the lesson we want to take away from that, but anyway, we need to get to our Bible verses for the day. You know what holiday is coming up soon, don't you, Thomas? Thanksgiving. That's right, and that's what this week's verses are all about, always giving thanks to God. Would you like to read them for the kids, Thomas, these two verses? Sure. Give thanks in all things, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purposes. 1 Thessalonians 5:18, Romans 8:28, gobble gobble. Well, thank you, Thomas. These verses tell us that we should always thank God for everything in life, not because everything's good all the time, but because God can bring good out of all things. And if we're Christians, we know God is on our side and he'll work even the bad things for our good as we trust and obey him and pray and ask him to change things and use things for good. So we should give thanks in all things because we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. But we need to get right with God and ask his forgiveness first and get right with him, and then we'll have him on our side, working all those things for good. Well, kids, how about you say these verses with me? Give thanks in all things. You say that. For this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 and Romans 8:28. One more time. Give thanks in all things, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 and Romans 8:28. Well, Thomas, I guess another way of saying this is every day should be Thanksgiving. Are you with the greeting card industry? No, I'm with the loving and thanking God industry. Oh, okay. Well, Pastor, I've got to go. I've got to take care of my plexiglass house. If people are going to be throwing stones, I've got to cancel the aluminum siding. Bye, Pastor. Okay, Thomas, bye. Bye, kids.